Attorney Jonathan Turley for a level-headed look at what the president actually can and cannot do. Jonathan, good to have you with us here tonight. You say that you're glad the president brought it up because you believe that it will force the courts to look at it, and that's good.
That's absolutely correct. You know, we're about 150 years late in finding out what this amendment means. There has been a debate since this was first ratified. All of this debate turns on these 6 rather ill-chosen words as to what was meant by being subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Some of the drafters at the time clearly evidenced a belief that non-citizens that come to this country, whether they're diplomats or undocumented, would not have immediate citizenship for their children. And so there's a good debate here. There are 3 different types of interpretations that have been put forward. I can't imagine how people can say with such certainty that this language means that anyone in the United States, for any reason, can have a citizen when they give birth on our soil. That's not evident from the text of the amendment. Many people at the time clearly didn't hold that view. Now, that's not a frivolous view. There's good faith arguments on both sides. But the Supreme Court has never said with any clarity or finality what it means.
Interesting. So you think that this would kind of, move that forward. Can the president do it with an executive order? Could he make that change?
That, I think, is more doubtful. I think Lindsey Graham is right that the best way to go about this is with legislation. Of those 3 interpretations, the president would lose on 2 in using this particular means. It ultimately comes back to the meaning of the amendment. If the amendment means that anyone in the United States can produce a child who is a citizen, then obviously the president can't change it, neither can Congress. One interpretation is that it's left to Congress, and in that case, he still can't change it with an executive order, but Congress can. So an executive order is not the ideal way to go here. He's adding baggage to an already difficult challenge.
So here's a tweet from Jim Acosta earlier today. He said the founders set up the Constitution so the president can't do what he's proposing to do with birthright citizenship. It's a stunt, like sending troops to the border for a non-existent invasion, he says. But, in terms of the first part of that, and we're going to get to the second part of it in a moment with Brit Hume, but in terms of the ability to approach this as a president, what tools does he have in his toolbox, potentially?
Well, the best tool is to go to Congress and follow the lead, in this case of Lindsey Graham, and to seek legislation. It's a good thing for this to be reviewed by the court. The Supreme Court ruled many years ago that a Chinese family was entitled to the citizenship of their child who was born on U.S. soil. But that family was here as legal residents, and many people who adopt the more narrow view of this amendment believe that with citizens would fit that narrow interpretation. So the Supreme Court still has work to do, and it's been about 150 years for it to do it.
Jonathan Turley, always enlightening. Thank you very much. Good to talk to you
Martha.
tonight.